Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Hiking in Yosemite National Park. In this video, I will take you to Mariposa Grove, home to over 500 giant sequoias. To get here is pretty simple. Once you enter through the south entrance and you get to the roundabout, you're going to take a right. It's going to take you to the Mariposa Grove Plaza, where there's 300 parking spots available. To get to the grove itself, it's a 2-mile journey, which means it's going to be a minimum of 4 miles round trip. Once you get to the grove itself, there's many different loops depending on how much time you have. This could be a 2 to 3 hour adventure all the way to a full day event. To get to the grove itself, you can either hike down the trail at the end of the parking lot, or you can walk down the Mariposa Grove Road. All right, friends, let's go embark on our journey. Wow. All right, so we're about 0.4 miles away from that other junction sign here, and I came across this stick. And if you look really closely, I'll put it in the camera here, there's these grooves on it. And there were some insects that were underneath this bark here, and they were eating their way through. How neat is that? All right, friends, so we had just hiked 2 miles to get here from the parking lot. We walked down what's called the Washburn Trail. You could have also took the road to hike to the same exact location. As you can see to my left, there's a fence, and I'll show you some footage here in a second of what this plaza looks like. Typically, they built this brand new building and everything was working here. And in January of this year, in 2021, there was a huge storm that came through here and just ripped apart these trees. And it damaged the trail right here to my right, and it also damaged the brand new building. So it's gonna take a long time to repair. So most likely for years to come, a lot of this is gonna be closed off, but there's still gonna be a lot of cool trees and a lot of cool trails to explore. On this journey, we're gonna venture off into the Bachelor and the Three Graces, and then head to the Grizzle Giant, and then we're going to end our adventure at the California Tunnel Tree. All right, friends, we've made it to our first destination while checking out the giant sequoias of Mariposa Grove in Yosemite National Park. Behind me is the Bachelor and the Three Graces, and if you look very closely, you can see that all of them are grown next to each other, and there is a reason for that. Their roots fuse together and they hold each other up. If one of these giant sequoias were to be on its own, it would eventually topple down. This is due to the roots being extremely shallow. All right, friends, after visiting the Bachelor and the Three Graces, it's time to head to the Grizzle Giant. With just over a 1/4 mile to get there, it's going to be well worth it. All right, friends, so I am standing in front of the Grizzle Giant, this giant sequoia tree right behind me. And to put it in perspective, since you can't really tell through a video, the base of this tree measures 31 feet across. And even if you were to travel all the way up to the top, which is 200 feet, the diameter of this tree is still going to be very large. I'll point the camera up, but the largest trunk on the right-hand side, at that point it is 95 feet tall, and that branch is 6 feet in diameter. This is a very massive tree. Although this Grizzle Giant has been licked by a flame, since it is cousins to the coastal redwood, this tree is very resilient. It is protected against flames, disease, and insects due to its massive size and its thick bark. Right behind me, there is a historic photo with President Roosevelt with John Muir. It is said at this very spot, John Muir convinced President Roosevelt to protect this grove along with Yosemite Valley. All right, friends, now that we got done exploring the Grizzly Giant, it's time to visit another giant sequoia. Behind me down this trail, we'll run into the California tunnel tree that was tunneled in 1895. We've made it at the base of the California tunnel tree. As mentioned before, this was tunneled in 1895, which started off as stagecoaches coming through this tunnel. Eventually in the 1920s, vehicles arrived. There's a famous picture of a park ranger that actually drove through this tree. We couldn't even fathom carving a tree in today's world. It would greatly be frowned upon. But in the late 1800s, it did have its benefits. People from the thousands all over the world came to see these giant sequoias and to drive their vehicles through these trees. When all these people flocked to this area started to gain an awareness, which ended up protecting these groves. All right, so we just got done exploring the California tunnel tree, and this is where our adventure is going to end. Although we barely scratched the surface, if you do really enjoy these giant sequoias, I highly recommend going to see the rest of the grove. Our adventure brought us 2 miles just to get to the plaza. From there, we hiked to the Bachelor and the 3 Graces. And from there, we got to see the Grizzly Giant. And finally, we had ended our adventure at the California tunnel tree. If you liked this video or found it entertaining or educational, please hit the subscribe button. Viewers like you and subscribers like you keep this channel running. Until next time, my friends.